Something kind of special happened for me over the weekend. I know in the grand scheme of YouTube and content creators that my little milestone that I'll tell you about in a moment is really not that big a deal, but it really was nice to see it happen. And I just wanted to do a video mostly to say thank you to everybody who's been so supportive of me over the last, I don't know, maybe 4.5 years that I've really been doing this seriously and putting a lot of effort and work into it. So you might ask, well, what is this milestone? Well, this happened over the weekend. And after all this time, I finally cracked that 30,000 subscriber barrier. Now, a lot of folks will say, well, subscribers don't mean anything. In a lot of ways, they don't. But it does give a nice little metric as to how many people are enjoying your material. There's many other metrics that are used too that we as content creators get to see. And I love to see the growth in my channel, and it just tells me that maybe I'm on the right track in the content that I'm doing, and that makes me really happy. It makes me really happy to get comments from folks that tell me that the educational material on tone creation or guitar lesson videos I do, or guitar solo analysis videos I do, or whatever other style of video I do, that folks are getting use out of them and enjoyment out of them, and it's helping folks. And that really, really makes me happy that the work I put into this is actually helping somebody. If I do a video and it helps one person, that was worth it to me at the end of the day. So I just wanted to say a heartfelt thank you to everybody who's followed me along this journey for the last, like I said, close to 5 years, I guess. I've actually had my YouTube channel much longer. A video I first put up in 2006 of a live performance I did of my first solo album I put out that was called Orbit. I look back on this, it's hilarious how much has gone on since that time and since that first video. I now have 7 solo albums out. I've had the opportunity to work with some of the most amazing musicians in the world, become friends with a lot of amazing musicians and a lot of amazing people. And that's one thing that I think I'm happiest about this YouTube journey I've been on is the friends that I've made. I've made some incredibly close friends, people who are going to be lifelong friends, whether just from talking to them online or from meeting up at the NAMM shows or meeting up at concerts and other various ways of communicating. And it's just been an amazing, amazing thing to meet so many incredible people that are now a part of my life. I've had the amazing opportunity to work with so many companies. Since the start of this, I'm now an artist with Line 6, with Vigier guitars, with SIT strings, recently with Rev amplification, all wonderful, wonderful people that I'm really honored to say that I can work with. And, you know, I only will work with companies that are making gear that I believe in, that I use myself. And this is all stuff that I use on a regular basis. If you hear me saying that I love a piece of gear, it's because I actually love that, not just because somebody offered to send it to me. In fact, I've turned down many offers for people to send me pieces of gear for free that I just couldn't get behind because it's not something that I really love. Other companies that I have no affiliation with, TuneTrack, for instance, that I love doing videos about their products because they're so incredible. So just making all of these connections has just been a really wonderful thing, and probably the best part about embarking on this entire YouTube journey. Now, how did this all start? Well, for long time viewers of my channel, you might remember this video. Just a little more gain. Still a pretty dark sound. So let's bring that present. That's the first video I did about the Line 6 Helix. I really didn't think anything of it at the time. What had happened is, to go back a little further, I had used a number of guitar modelers. I actually always worked in recording studios with real tube amps and real mics. I owned a very nicely outfitted studio with some really top-end music gear. And when I started using modelers, I actually used things like the Atomic Amplifier, the Kemper Profiler. I've owned products by Fractal Audio, but I ultimately settled on the Helix. It did what I needed it to do. I loved the sounds I could get out of it. I found the workflow very intuitive. And so what actually happened is I started just doing videos of me performing guitar solos that I really loved. And I actually received a message from an old school acquaintance from many years ago who actually recently passed away, sadly, at a very young age. And he had sent me a message asking me, could you do a video, covering a Rush song? So I believe I did the Limelight solo and Tom Sawyer solo for him. And it got a lot of attention, and folks started asking me, how'd you get that tone out of, that particular amp modeler you're using? And then I went on to say, well, people seem to like these guitar solo covers, and I played more and more of them. And I just started going through all the solos that were extremely influential to me growing up as I was learning to play guitar. And I started putting those up on YouTube, and they were garnering more and more attention. And then companies like Line 6 noticed. And then I started getting requests to do videos on how do you get the tones you're getting in these videos. So that's really how it all started. And I really didn't have any intention of taking it as far as it has gone now. And now there seems to be no looking back. I've had to take a lot of those videos down off my YouTube channel because of copyright reasons. Anybody who's watched my channel knows I ran into a bit of a copyright strike issue with the Eagles because I did a little cover solo of Hotel California. They weren't too happy with that, so it caused me a few issues, and I made the decision to take those down. But I wanted to put together a little reel of some of those early videos that kind of got this channel really rolling to where it is today. And I thought if I do a couple little snippets of solos that I really enjoyed, just so you could sort of check out this journey where, my head was still bald, but my face was also bald in a lot of those videos. Lots has changed. It's actually quite enjoyable to go back and look through these. So here's a little snippet of some of the videos that kind of really got this channel off the ground. So there you have it, some old video of me playing some of my favorite guitar solos, or little snippets thereof. Anyways, I don't want to ramble on here, but I just really did want to come on and say a heartfelt thank you to everybody who's followed my channel, everybody who's made positive comments, everybody who supported me by buying my presets, which helps me to keep this channel going and putting out the content I do. Folks who followed my Patreon, I do have a Patreon. I don't do a lot on there, but it's more just for folks who want to contribute to helping me support my channel. But I really, at the end of the day, just want to say thank you. Thanks so much for watching the videos, sharing the videos, for the kind words and the kind comments. Even thank you to the trolls who put comments out that I get a good chuckle at. And it's just been a wonderful ride. It's not anywhere near over. I have a lot of great ideas on new videos to do. I have a lot of great affiliations with wonderful companies. As I mentioned before, Line 6, recently 2 Notes Audio Engineering, my good friend Paul over at Mission Engineering, wonderful, wonderful people. I don't want to name too many names because I don't want to miss anybody. There's been so many great friends I've made. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. And maybe I'll come back and we'll chat again if and when I hit the 40,000 mark. Hopefully that's sooner than later. Thank you guys again so much. I really can't say how much I appreciate everybody's support over the years. We'll see you really soon.